is the place where real dialogue matters.
Make some noise for that sound, man.
It is time to take flight with Audio Airstrike.
What's up, everybody? I'm Everett Hall-McNeill, and this is Audio Airstrike. Thank you for joining us. Now, this month, we've been doing a series called Giving Back, and we have been highlighting different people that are going around and making a difference in people's lives, really concerned about changing the mindset, changing the pathway for multiple generations to come. And this is what this month has been all about, giving back. And I thought, why not during Thanksgiving, while you guys are listening and eating and stuff of that nature, enjoying family time, I decided to bring along a massive group of men standing in the gap and making sure that generations are saved, not lost. Here with me on Audio Airstrike. This is episode 154. And I couldn't find anybody better to end this series with the gentlemen that are part of the group known as We, Our, Us. With me at this time, I have Corey Barnes, who is the president of We Are Us. I also have with me at this time the vice president of We Are Us, Andrew Muhammad, and one of their faithful soldiers and members, Rainbow Israel, is with us. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us, sir.
Absolutely. I definitely appreciate you guys coming on. So I'm going to get right into it, man. I'm not going to waste no time. There was a need that needed to take place, and from the need, this group came about. What was the big factor? What was the one moment or a series of moments that made this organization come to fruition?
Everett, I'll start with the little history, and then I'll pass it to Cap, and then Cap will kind of go from there. Because I'll start because it has a lot to do with Captain Andrew Muhammad. And it's hard to talk about yourself on radio, so I'll start and talk about him, and then he can kind of give the story. And so, our former mayor had a strong initiative had a heart. One of the things that she felt was missing was the African-American male engagement in the city. We saw the violence, we saw the things that were going on since 2015. And now former mayor wanted to have the African-American male engagement office where we focus on African-American males. And so from that office, Andrew Muhammad, as well as Andre Bunley, she brought those two together to begin to make this movement, so that this movement, and from that combination of engaging men, that's how we got to over 1,000 men coming together. Again, we know what happened with our former mayor. So one of the questions that came about was, how do we keep this going despite of what's happening? And so one of the ways I got tapped was, how do we make this a nonprofit? So we ended up becoming and moving it towards a nonprofit, and now it stands on its own. It belongs to the men in the community. So that was important for us, even to address the violence. And then I'll pass it to Captain Andrew Muhammad, who's been there since the beginning. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, President. And once again, thank you. What's your name again, brother?
Everett.
Everett. Yes, sir. We honored to be on your show, man. And I want to make sure we acknowledge you for having us, myself and Rainbow and the president. But as the president said, everything started basically behind the murders in Baltimore City. In 2018, we had 309 murders. 275 murders was Black men. 175 of the murders was headshots of Black men. So right then and there, we knew we had to do something different, not just because our city, we've been averaging 300 murders the last 6 years or so.
Yes, yeah.
But in 2018, as our president said, the former mayor, basically Catherine Pugh, hired me and Dr. Bunley to run the African American male engagement program that was just initially started in 2018. And because we just didn't have a program coming out City Hall geared towards Black men and Black men only. And the data said that we need to do something for Black men, because the Black men are the ones being gunned down. The Black men are the perpetrators and the victims. So that was the number one reason why this program started, We Are Us. and it just grew from out of there. The city basically was kind of like the beginning start, but then it just spilled over to the brothers in the community. So we went after the faith-based leaders. We went at the regular brothers in the street, the organizations, and we put the call out. Myself and Doc was just meeting with leaders all across the city, and that's the beginning stages right there. That's how I initially came about. We Are Us, but make no mistake about it. This is a unified effort. It started with 2 men, really with 4. We missing James Green and a young lady named Candace, who was a part of our team. And then we spilled it out to the community, and that's how we got Rainbow. That's how we got the president, and it just took off. So no, we understood that it can't be a 1-man show or 2-man show, because you won't have no success. And that's how I originally got started, though.
That's absolutely, man. I think you hit the nail on the head in terms of gathering people up and creating an atmosphere where it's not about one person. It's not about, titles. It's about there's a need here, and there's something that needs to be put to rest, and there's something that needs to be leveled down a bit. We've seen too many lives lost. We've lost a lot of talented people within the city that got their lives cut short that could have made a big impact in the city, and we will never know if they had stayed alive for whatever stuff they got into, how great of an impact, a positive impact that could have been in the city. And when that need took place, and when that need needed to be warranted and stuff like that, like, hey, there's a gap here, and that we keep seeing. You guys got together. There were and what I admire about you guys, and what made me support you guys so much and heavy, which is why I'm wearing this hoodie, is because you guys went into this with no ego. You guys went in this humbly with a mindset of, I'm just here to help people. And that's the bottom line. I'm just here to see, a young generation take over and be changed and do stuff in the community that's positive. I'm here to plant a seed so the next generation and the 8 generations after me don't have to suffer what we suffered through. And I think it's a great, gratifying thing. Rainbow, I kind of wanted to get you in this conversation, and I wanted you to talk about, from your perspective, the early days of this starting up, and just from your perspective, what were some of the powerful things that you were seeing as you were going on these walks?
I remember probably prior to the COVID, I happened to see it on Facebook, and they were going out and walking, and I remember I was like, okay, this sounds good. And then the first time I saw, I didn't hear anything about resources and stuff like that. I think, and I don't know how early on it was, but, me being out there in the streets, I was like, I know, that was just like, if you don't really have nothing to give brothers, then it's just kind of like a walk. I was like, that's something I could get into, but nah. So then I think probably about a week later, I saw it again on there on the Facebook Live, but then I heard the brother was talking about all the resources that they had to give out. I said, that's it. I'm in there. And then so, from then on, man, I was like, running. And, this was kind of like almost in the beginning stages. And kudos to President Barnes and Vice President Muhammad, because, I watched the whole thing formulate, and I watched it get organized. And it's just a powerful tool, man, for me being, from, the streets and from prison, man. It's just, and just to be out in the streets, man, and we going back and we giving back, and we just helping brothers, man, pulling them up from the bootstraps. And it's just a blessing to see, lives being changed, with no big fanfare, no big hoopla, man, just us grassroots, as they say, the rubber hits the road, we out there, and so we see the change, and that motivates you. That gives you that hunger. And Everett, you've been out there with us a couple times. You feel that energy and you feel that love and you see that, and it's just a powerful thing, man. So, that's what kept me going to this day.
Yeah, and I think that's awesome. And speaking from somebody that's been out there a couple times, it is, especially the first time I was out there, stuck out to me, because it was one thing to hear, okay, Baltimore needs a movement taking place. That's one thing, but it's another thing to see it and to see the citizens react.
Yeah.
When you're walking down, they know who you are, they know what you're there for. To see people that, for different reasons, just they it's just unfortunate. It's marginalized situations. There's so many situations that are hitting them all at once, from gentrification, from police brutality, from just being discriminated against over a zip code, and just the gang activity, or just could be caught in the wrong place just because of the drug wars or whatnot. We don't know. And to see people go through those different things in those sectors, but then when you guys show up and just the amount of relief that comes over their face, like, thank you guys for being here. The very appreciative outpouring of love that, you're giving to them, and then they give it back because they know what you're there for. They know, they feel the genuineness. They feel the real, because there have been a lot of initiatives that have come in the past that, they've been there, but, they don't stay there consistently enough to really make the impact. You guys have stayed there consistently enough to where they see faces that look familiar to them, and they already know who you guys are because they see themselves in you. You guys, you've gathered so many men from different walks of life that it's rewarding and honorable to see. I mean, I've seen kids out there. I've seen teenagers out there. I've seen men who are in their 30s, 40s, 50s and up, like just an array, a colorful look of men of all different walks of life, all different generations. Doesn't matter if you're a baby boomer, Gen Z, millennial, just out there just to simply make an impact. There's nothing more powerful than that. What we're seeing is a modern day version of part of what reminds me of kind of what civil rights was about. In a way, there was a part where it was about, we want liberation over the stuff that is over the stuff that's tripped us up for so long in these cities. And it was kind of reminiscent of that when I was just sitting there and watching and participating in what was going on. We were not only giving back, but we were also giving a sense of hope. And that's huge, and that's rewarding for, and usually I know that when you guys go out there, you're trying to make a difference in somebody else's life. But when you leave, when it's all said and done and you leave for the day and you're going to be back there a couple of days, to do it again, you leave with a sense of, wow, I know I was trying to help these people, but I was just as impacted as they were, just being out there and being a helping hand. And people don't realize, the citizens will encourage you so much, it'll leave you full of hope. Like, you went into there being that ray of hope, but I mean, it's just one of the things, you kind of get it back, and that's just good energy that's being reciprocated. That needs to continue. Real quick, I had another question, and one of the questions that has really, garnered me is, were there any positive stories? Was there anything that stuck out to you guys personally where you saw somebody that, you got off the street for whatever reason, or you talked with them, or you planted a seed with them, and then they became just this great ray of hope, and now they're a part of the movement? Were there any success stories of that sort? Are there any, people that that created a big impact through the movement that came up? Are there any successful stories? Any people that you want to shout out?
Yeah, absolutely. You want me to go, Prez?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got several. I mean, one of the young guys, he was with us last week. I can't pronounce his entire name because he's from Colombia, Hispanic young guy named G. Initially, we met him 2 years ago. He was in a situation where it was involving gangs, and they was trying to kill him. He didn't really know what he was dealing with. These guys was MS-13s, and they train to go. It don't make a difference what age they are. You can't play around with these guys. These guys will kill you, your mother, chop you up, and you'll just be missing forever. And he didn't know what he was dealing with, but because he didn't want to back down, that was his mindset. So just so happened one of the administrators, along with Baltimore City gang unit and Baltimore City school police gang unit, reached out to me. So we did the mediation, which took about 3 hours, and it all worked out. But he still was in the streets. He still was getting in trouble. So we ran across him in the streets, and myself, the president, Rainbow, all of us was a part of his life changing situation. So right now, long story short, he wound up doing 13 months in juvenile justice system. But he came home not even 5 months ago. We got him a job. Got him a job at Amazon. He's working, loving it. He walks with us. He helps us feed the community, and he's in boxing right now. All of this is through We Are Us. Every single thing. He's not using drugs. He's not drinking. He's working. He's going to college, BCCC right now online. And he changed his life around it, and it blew me away, because you really don't know the impact you make on somebody until you physically see it. People can tell you I changed, he helped me out, but when you see the transition, that's when you know you made the impact. Because sometimes you help somebody out, you get them a job, and they still, like on the fence. But when you have somebody 18 years old with a job, going to college and boxing and doing community work, that's transformation. And he's a great example that we just let him speak to maybe like 3 weeks ago. So we let him speak, and he spoke about what we did for him. And it's better that way, because even though, like the president said, it's not good to tell your story, it's good somebody else do it, right? But it was important that he did it so that people can hear it coming directly from him. What happened to him? What happened? How you change your life? And his parents can't speak no English, but they love We Are Us. So, I can't give you a better, greater example than that when you're talking about what could have happened to him if We Are Us don't get involved in his personal life. So that's one example.
That's awesome. Corey or Rainbow, you got any examples? You are more than welcome to talk about it.
Go ahead. Let Prez handle that.
Yeah. So just even last week, we're at 83, and a couple of guys were kind of stressed out, and I noticed they were stressed out. I pulled over. I gave them my card. I said, guys, won't you all give me a call? You need anything? Just let me know, squeegee kids. And they said, listen, the young man looked me in the face and said, listen, I'm gonna call you. And I said, so I tell you what are you doing tonight? He said, I'm great, go home. I said, well, come with us tonight and come on up. So 3 of the guys came with us, walked with us. And so not only are they came and walked with us, they even gave me a call. They're ready to go into our mentoring, which is our life coaching program, where we're going to begin to walk with them, so that and we have a new partner with T-Row Price, where they're going to come and wrap around some of these guys, so they no longer have to be out on doing squeeging, like where they're going to wrap their arms around the entire family. And so there are so many testimonies of these young brothers, because when you think about the violence, you have to look at it 2 ways. You have upstream and downstream. the good thing about We Are Us, we can go all the way down as far as we need to. If we need to go into prison, we can't pull you out of the grave, but we can go as far as the prison. And we can go as far as the prison to pull you up. But the other side is the upstream, which is the brothers that haven't touched the system, that's kind of need a circumstance. So we're working upstream and downstream. So that's the beautiful part about this. And then now we're putting in place that we're life coaching, where we're going to walk with these brothers all the way through, just like our young brother that our vice president walked through. We're going to walk with each one of these brothers all the way through with one mentor, one coach walking with them to help them get through the door. You know, all of us just needed one opportunity, one person that would call. And I'll never forget when I was in my deepest trouble, y'all gonna say a name y'all probably don't even remember, Judge David Mitchell. Judge David Mitchell, I'll never forget. I would give him a call. He would be in the middle of a court case, and I'll never forget this. I walked in the courtroom just to do lunch with him. He stopped the entire court and said, "Come to the back." Pulled me in the back, had a conversation with me. He said, "No, I was just checking to see how you was doing." I said, "Okay." He said, I'm gonna finish this case and then we're gonna go do lunch." Every child need to have somebody that no matter when they call, just like your own child, when they text you, everything stopped. Judge David Mitchell was that person for me. I don't care where I was. He would stop the entire court case to answer my call. And that's what we want for every kid that's on these streets, that one of us, Andrew Muhammad, is going, I don't care if we're in the middle of an intervention. And if that person called, Andrew Muhammad is going to answer that call immediately. And every child needs, that's what we're going after. Yeah.
Yes,
absolutely.
And I have one. I remember we were up on Belvedere, Belvedere area, Northwest Baltimore, my old stomping grounds. And a young brother came up. He had been walking, I think probably about a week. And he had been home for like maybe a month. And he said he was been struggling. He'd been trying to find jobs and things of that nature, and he couldn't. And so, you know, he saw We Are Us on Facebook, and he decided to walk with us. And so Maurice, our resources captain, you know, they got him a job. He started to get himself together, and he went missing for a minute. And he came back last night. Well, lo and behold, for the past 3 or 4 years, I have prison ministry, and I go preach in the prisons in Jessup. He was in there for like the past 3 or 4 years, and he got out. And then I happened to see him up in the We Are Us, man. So, you know, that really blessed me right there, because I was like, wow. And you know, and this is, you know, I had this leather jacket, man, and I was trying to sell it. I couldn't sell it. And then I couldn't sell it. And I seen him, and it was kind of nippy, and he didn't have no coat. And I happened to have it in my trunk. You know, God said, give it to him. So, and I had lost a lot of weight, so I couldn't fit it. And so I saw him, I was like, here, bro. And so that was just like the blessing, man. That this whole We Are Us, like you said, Everett, man, a lot of times we get blessed in the process. We go out to be a blessing, but we get blessed in the process. So that was my success story right there.
And these are all awesome stories. You guys and the individuals that you guys got around you got a heart for people that I've never seen a conglomerate of men, a conglomerate of individuals come together at this juncture like this and really have a deep-seated, peaceful, kind, generous heart just to see somebody turn the corner and just to be a success. Like the way you guys handle it, it's as generous and as raw as it could be. You guys don't worry about status. You just worried about if the person's just open. Like if he'll just listen a little bit and I just take that time to talk to him, we'll just take it step by step. We ain't got to go leaps and bounds. I just got to be with this person step by step by step. I wanted to talk about giving some tips and pointers of mentorship. based on what you guys have seen. And the reason why I wanted to do that is because so many times you end up becoming a father figure to people that didn't have a father. You end up becoming, and if we know there's some females and we are us as well, some of the ladies that have walked with us become a motherly figure that some of these people didn't have growing up and stuff of that nature. That does happen in the communities as well. What are some tips when it comes to being a mentor and dealing with, because the road is never easy when you're mentoring, because you have to be open-minded and deal with the person as they are, especially in the beginning. You can't just think you're going to change somebody overnight. And you guys understand that more than anybody. And I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on tips on mentorship and encouraging people that are struggling and trying to find their way. What tips have you learned? What game have you received? What knowledge can you give to the people?
One of the first things I would say in this generation, I would advise people to shift from mentoring to coaching. It's a little different on the aspect of not coming as necessarily an authority figure, but more so someone that's coming beside you to cheer you on and believing in you and calling out your full potential, even in the lowest place of where you are. You know, it's the young man who can't throw the ball, but the coach can see the potential and bring the potential out. So the first thing I would say is we're all called to coach. You know, that the number one, you got to see yourself as a coach. If you can see the potential, what you notice, Everett, is we don't see what everybody else sees. Everybody else see the problem. We see the potential. We see the purpose. So first of all, you probably shouldn't be doing this if all you see is the problem. You know what I mean? We don't see just the problem. When we walk out there, when we speaking to the kids, we speaking to their potential. We speaking to what they can be. We're not talking about where they are. We know what the condition our people are in. They're suffering. When you walk down Pennsylvania, you suffering. We walked through landmines of vomit yesterday. Mm-hmm. You know, landmines of it's almost like every other step, it's like a landmine. Mm-hmm. You know, so we know the condition of our people. But that is not what they're created to be. And so if you got to be able to call out the potential that's in our young people, and that's the first step. And then you got to be the number one thing the reason why we've been doing what we're doing for 18 months, the number one principle for us is consistency over time creates change. See, people want a quick change. We didn't get in this condition overnight, so you're not going to fix the condition overnight. You got to be consistent over and over and over again. That's what we do. We show up every time for 18 months. We showed up. See, the problem, and the last time I checked the statistics about 2014 or something like that, it was said that 90% of the households in Baltimore are households without fathers. If that statistics is true, the last thing a Black male need is an inconsistent man in their lives. So our number one second job is to be consistent in whatever we do. We do not commit what we can't be consistent to. We don't say we're going to get you a job if we can't. We don't say, if you want rehab, you go that night. We're not waiting till tomorrow. It's that night. We put you in the car. So everything that we do is a part of being consistent enough, because a lot of our young people have never seen that out of their Black men. And so that's what's real important. So mentoring and being consistent is the two major points. You know?
Yes, sir. Thank you. And I just want to add, one of the key components is basically you have to love them more than they love themselves. Yes, and the way you do that, I mean, President just said it. We have to be consistent and then being sincere. You said it earlier, Everett, being genuine. I mean, they can smell you if you're not real. They can smell you a mile away. You know, if you out there, you faking it, you just trying to be seen. They don't even waste their time. They're probably going to cuss you out anyway. So we go at them with love, find out what they need, try to establish a relationship, a conversation, or discussion, on how can we help you, and then what really helps us out more than anything, man, is we take our time to listen to them. We engage them. Like if we don't engage them, we haven't did our job. Now we understand we can't engage every situation because sometimes the streets won't allow you to do that. So we have to use, caution when we out there. But at the same time, most of them are expecting us to engage them. They're expecting us to come and talk to them. They're expecting us to offer them some sort of help. And that's really it right there. Like you can't, like our president said, mentoring, the terminology, and it just has to change because, we got to grab them by their hand and their arm and continue to hold it. You can't call them and text them and thinking you're going to get results. These young guys, I'll just give you an example today. I had a mother call me yesterday basically crying because her exact words is, I don't want to bury my son. She couldn't even say that word though, but I knew exactly what she meant. But her son is the oldest boy, and he really is a leader. He's 19 years old. His father's in a federal prison waiting to get his time, and his mother been in and out of prison all her life. I didn't know that until tonight. I met with them tonight at 5:30 at the McDonald's, and they kind of gave me that story, right? But I sat there and listened to them for 1 hour, and I talked to them about how we can help him, how we can serve him, and we had that total undivided attention. And he just left the streets. He just got locked up he was locked up for 1 year for a gun, and she knew, unfortunately, eventually somebody gonna murder him or he gonna murder somebody. And his little brother's out there, he's 15 years old. So he got 8 guys under him. So I'm like, little brother, you're a leader, man. You just gotta turn around what you're doing and we can help you with that. So, just sitting with them for 1 hour, listening to them, talking to them, and engaging them, and then on top of that, come to find out, President Maurice know his entire family. Wow. But we had no idea until we got there today after the conversation was over, because I was there first. Then Maurice finished it, after me and Walter left, because he comes with the resources, the jobs, etc. But it's all about loving them more than they love themselves, showing them I genuinely care, and then backing it up with action. That's the key thing right there. Go ahead, Rainbow.
Oh no, y'all said it best, man. Nothing to add to that. I just reiterate that. That's it. That's it in a nutshell.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, and I definitely agree with everything that's been said when it comes to mentorship. That it's one of those situations where now a lot of people hit mentorship and it's like it doesn't have the same effect as coaching. Mm-hmm. Coaching is a more in-depth effect now, because some people romanticize mentorship, and when it comes to coaching, when you take a look at sports, Rainbow, you're a rabid basketball fan, when you got a good coach, because those players are impacted not just on the court, but off the court. Yeah. And when you sit over there and look at the emotion that these athletes have for their coach, it's like a father figure to them. Mm-hmm. That's why in some cases, and Corey, I understand why you brought up coaching, because coaching can have a bigger impact than mentorship. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those situations where everything that you guys are doing is planting a seed and setting up that next young man, that next young lady, that next generation to get to a point where they are more successful. They're thinking outside the box. They're realizing it's like the conditions I am in are messed up, but there is actually a way out. There is people that are actually out here to help. So you help them shift their focus into, you ain't got to fall for that. There's actually alternatives, and we're here to help. And I think that's a big, big key. I wanted to go in on some of the resources that you guys have, and feel free to take it away and tell us in depth all the resources that you guys have and where can people find these resources, because you guys provide them greatly and at a fast pace too.
So I'll start. I mean, we have, so just to kind of give you our initial start, we started off with our job training, along with jobs where, if you need to get prepared to be ready to work, we had a preparation process and partnership, and I'll have Kat share that partnership. And then we have our actual job placement program where if we see you on Monday, you could have an interview on Tuesday, Thursday, depending on if you have your license and things like that. The jobs that we have, they soft on people with prison backgrounds. And so they really a great entry-level jobs that allows people to really get a start. And then we have a partnership with Gardenia that where we right then on the spot, we can, if you're ready to go, we can get you right down and get you into rehab that night. Right now, we've taken over 70 people that have gone through rehab. We have it's been over 700 people that have gotten jobs. And then the other part, which was birthed out of the COVID crisis, because we were following, along with who we are as men, one of the models we have to model, as a key model, is that we follow the laws. So, that's one of the things we have to be a model for our young men. So when they call the COVID crisis, they go by the numbers and when you can come out. One of the things we did when we couldn't get out like we wanted to, we ended up doing food distribution. And to today, we've done over 1 million pounds of food distributing all over the city about 3 days a week. So that's where we've been. I'll let Cap get into the more deeper interventions and things like that that he can share to the level of where he can share. But it's I'll kind of turn it over to you, Cap. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, President. And I'll start off with Rainbow's statement when Rainbow said he was watching us, live on Facebook. Because you can walk the community with 1 million men, but if you don't have nothing to offer these guys, you're gonna keep walking, and that's it. So what made it attractive, as Rainbow said, was we have resources. For so many years, the city of Baltimore, they got a lot of one-stop shops around the city, but nobody know where the hell they at, one-stop shops. Mm-hmm. So if you got one in Mondawmin, and I live in Monument Street, I'm not coming over west because I got beef over west. So I'm not even thinking about changing my life to get a job over in Mondawmin because I may see the brothers from Park Heights or Park Circle. So I'm not coming that way. So the bottom line is we thought about, bringing the resources with us. So one of the things that really helps us out is the partnerships. So like expungements is real huge, because when you tell a man that we can help you get that armed robbery, or we can help you get that drug distribution, we can help you get that weapon charge off your record. We can't guarantee it, but we can help you. Most of the charges that young men got in the community, some of them can be dismissed. They just don't know the legal process, that's all. And that's where Bond Secure Hospital came in at. We partnered with their director of outreach, Raheem Rockman, and he helped us with over 100 men and women that we sent to him throughout these last 2 years in regards to expungements. Because we had, before COVID, we had all kind of meetings and programs that we was running on a weekly basis, monthly basis, getting men and women expungements. And when we was walking the community, that was real huge for us, very huge. When somebody here, I'm gonna help you out with a drug charge, trust me, it goes a long way, man. It goes a long way, right? So the expungement piece is huge. And then NCIA, which do the HVAC, the automotive, the drone training, and then CDLBs. A lot of returning citizens, they huge on them CDLBs. Everybody want to drive a truck. They want to get out of Baltimore City. They want to be their own independent driver. They know when they driving that 18-wheeler, they don't have nobody over their neck telling them pick the trash up, clean the toilet. So all of that plays a role in the man's thinking coming home from prison. So them CDL bigs is huge with returning citizens in the city of Baltimore, along with HVAC, automotive, and even the drone training. And then when the president was talking about the 700 jobs, we partnered with MOAD, Mayor's Office of Employment Development, which is Marvin McKinstry, one of our leaders, who plays a huge role in getting these guys jobs. And the key thing with him is he's been to prison, he's been to jail, so he's very familiar. He has a heart to help these guys out. So he's very aggressive in getting these guys jobs. I mean, he sings that. He sings it. You know, he's one of the best I've seen, even better than me, Rainbow. He's better than me when it comes to getting these guys jobs, man. I got to give the man credit when credit is due. This guy's awesome, Everett, when it comes to getting guys jobs. I mean, and he's one of our key guys when it comes to that. And then another real huge thing that we really haven't even talked about yet is stopping the beef. This is a resource. This is a resource that you really can't even measure, because it's hard to measure on how many potential lives you can save from mediating an actual confrontation. And sometimes even when blood is spilled, we always have an opportunity, because if they bring it to us, we're going to do our best. And I'll just give you an example of what happened last week. We had a guy that had a hit on his head, and we have several of these situations, but this just happened last week. I don't know how much it was, because I didn't ask him, because I didn't want to pry too much into his business, because I didn't know him and he knew me. He knew of me, right? So you got to be real careful when you're talking about somebody potentially getting their head blown off and they got a hit on their head. So automatically he was afraid, he was scared, he wasn't sure. It took him almost 2 weeks to finally meet with me in person. But he went to a white organization, which is one of our partners, and they couldn't handle it. So they went to Dr. Leaf. Dr. Leaf called me, sat down. We was going back and forth. How we going to work this out? How we going to get him to talk to me? And he was hiding I'll just tell you, he was hiding in, well, I don't even know if I should say it, but he was hiding in another part of the city, right? So we wind up finally meeting last Wednesday, up in West Baltimore, and talked for about an hour. And by this time, we setting everything up, where he going to go, and where he going to work at, who's going to pay the rent for the room rate, and we got all that set up. Yeah, so thank you for that. So we was able to get him out of the city, and he's working right now. He has his own room. His rent is paid for 2 months, and he's making $17 an hour, and he's with good people that he can trust. He had a chance to talk to them. We drove him up there, and he's in great hands. And this is and potentially, because he's really not, he was afraid to die. I mean, you know, but the bottom line is he was willing to kill too to protect himself. So we had to get him out of there, because he wasn't just going to die because they wanted to kill him. He was going to shoot back as well, or attack. But thank God we got him out of there. And we told him, do not come back on holidays. Do not come back on birthdays. Do not come back on graduations, because if you do, they'll be waiting for you. He understood all that. We told him, don't come back. You know, and if you do, maybe 5 years. But he's in a great space right now. He's safe, and our prayer is he do not come back. And the last resource I'll say, but the president said it, was the treatment piece. I believe it's probably over 80 right now, President. I know you said 70, but I think we're over 80. We got a Pastor James McMeekin. He grabs these guys, like the president said. We got a relationship with Gardenzia, but we also have a relationship with Sinai. We also have a relationship with John Hopkins, where Pastor McMeekin take these guys, load them up in his car, and drive them to John Hopkins. He just did this 2 weeks ago on North Avenue, North and Madison Street, in front of Bishop Daniel's church. Took 3 of them in his car. One of one of the guys had 3 knives on him and another had a gun. And we managed to secure all of them. And this is no joke. So, you know, the work that we are being blessed to do, the resources that we have is huge. And one of the things we're asking the community at large and these corporations, we want them to walk with us. And I'll just give you this last example. Just say if we have Marriott walking with us, and Marriott has a lot of unskilled jobs, and most of the guys on the corner, on the strip, they unskilled guys. Most of them never had a job. And we asked Marriott, we need y'all to be background friendly, as the president said, just for these 15 guys. Let's give these guys a chance. We'll train them. We'll coach them. We'll guide them. We'll spend quality time with us. Give us your word that you'll get them an opportunity. And that's all we're asking to do. So we need more employers, more corporations to walk with us. So we're asking them to support us in what we're doing. They're tired of the killing because the violence is spilling downtown now. It's spilling downtown now. So we hoping they hear this word that we're sharing with them, and we want the employees to walk with us. Resources is king.
Absolutely. And resources are very crucial, and resources change lives. And that is one of the biggest things. That's one of the biggest keys with you guys' group. Rainbow right now has and Rainbow, I'm gonna let you speak on it. You got the Stop the Beef flyer right now. Go ahead and speak on that, and also talk about the numbers that they can reach.
Vice President said it real well. You know, this is a major piece too. I think he mans that 24/7. I mean, they be calling him late at night to Stop the Beef hotline. There's the number right there on the screen for 443-431-3705 and 522-7848. That's 24/7. And it's no police involvement at all. It's all anonymous. You will remain anonymous. But this done saved this hotline right here. Am I right, Vice President? I saved a lot of lives.
Absolutely.
A lot of lives so far. So, you know, of course, you know the code, street code, ain't no snitching involved, but no police involvement.
That's right.
I'm pretty sure y'all see these around the cities where we march. Up in the stores, we have the large posters as well, the 8x10s. So, you know, you can call that number right there and we'll facilitate and mediate.
That's right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's definitely crucial. It's definitely needed. And the one thing that I'm grateful for you guys is that you guys have as many resources as you do from so many different avenues. Because it's very important, because people are out here. We're already aware of the conditions. We know what's going on in the city. And it's very important to take all these resources and hit every area where they may be struggling with all at once. So it's a one-stop shop, and everybody's interconnected to make that life better for them. So it's very, very crucial. Very, very crucial. I had a couple more. I just had one or two questions before we close. And the one thing that I wanted to have you guys speak on is earlier this year, Martin Luther King Day, we had a large gathering of men that I had the privilege of being a part of. And we were all dressed in black, and we all walked. And while, yes, the imagery of that was great, we were out there for a bigger reason. The reasons that we pretty much said throughout this episode. And there have been several Facebook Lives from different members of the organization that have laid down the call. And the call is, we want you guys to actually be a part and help. And it doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter about race or religion. We're not concerned about that. In this organization, we have Christians that are walking with people from the NOI and FOI. They don't care nothing about religion. It's about helping these people because they need it. And when I look at that, and I've seen the different live videos, you guys are always talking about, hey, there's somebody out here that needs to see you. There's somebody out here that you can touch that we can't touch. But because you're a unique individual, you can get through to this person. So we need you just as much as you need us. So come and join us. I want to give you guys a floor to invite anybody that is willing to help out in any way, in any capacity with your guys' organization. The floor is yours.
Start by saying that, you know, it is so important. You know, we've had over 1,000 men out there with us, but this is the problem. Our principle and our philosophy and how we do what we do is that we believe that there's a brother out there that need to find themselves, that find their experience through another brother. Like some brothers been to prison, some brothers have different backgrounds, some brothers are from the nation, some brothers are Christians, that everybody out there represents a mirror that someone can reflect on and say, you know what, I was there and I want to move out of this place where I am. The problem is if you're not out there with us, then some brother who would have identified and mirrored from you is not going to see himself, and that change is being held up. And I just invite you, every brother out there, that if you know there's a brother that has an experience that can identify with that experience, with your experience, that you have a voice and an opportunity to change someone's life. And we fully invite you to come out with us and be a part of this work. Listen, this mirror work that we're talking about, we're looking at the zoom and the reflection. You know, one of the most powerful things, what even changed segregation was a guy named Kenneth Clark who took a mirror and said Black people couldn't even see themselves. Listen, what happens if as Black men, we don't, you supposed to be out there and someone has an image that your experience has, but they can't see themselves. Listen, you need to be out there so that some brother can find himself, then they can look at you and say, you know what? It's something in you that I want to move towards. That's why each and every one of us out there, it's 1,000 of us out there, but there's so many more young brothers that need us. So that's my encouragement. Come on out there, be a mirror for another brother so he can find himself in you and you can begin to mentor and coach him up so they can get moving in his life.
Yes,
absolutely.
Sir. Yeah, and I just want to be real brief on this one. I think that one of the biggest challenges that we deal with is, and it's a good challenge, but because we are mostly Black, and we have a few whites and we have a few Hispanics, but you know, just for Black men coming together in the city of Baltimore. It's really unheard of, man. I mean, you said it, Muslims, Christians, atheists, regular brothers from the streets, you know, organizations. I mean, we have to admit we got our own issues, you know, and it's take a special man to do what we us are doing. I mean, from the top to the bottom, from the one who don't have a title to the president, it take a special man to want to walk 2-3 times a week, feeding people 2 and 3 times a week, sacrificing your time, your family time, just walking. Some speak, some don't speak. Some take instructions, some don't know how to take instructions. Some are trained, some are not trained. Some don't understand the history of what we're going through and why we're doing it. Some don't even know their own purpose. But it takes a lot, man, for what we're doing. And we understand more than anything, without God, brother, like none of this is not going to happen. We don't believe that Corey is responsible for this. We don't believe that Andrew or Dr. Bunny is responsible for this. No, we believe God is the foundation, and that's the only That's the only thing that's allowing us to be successful. So, and people, like some of us understand what's happening. You know, I know for a fact that, you know, this is a hell of a sacrifice that we're making. And we talked about the consistency earlier, but we got a lot of people in leadership that's watching what we're doing. I mean, a lot of people. People tell me every week, I find out somebody new, I'm watching y'all, you know, but they not coming out, but they watching. So it's a good sign because we know at some point, all the Black men, all the Caucasian men, all the Hispanic men is going to get behind what we're doing. And I want to thank Brother Rainbow. I want to thank our President Coy because, bro, trust me, Brother Everett, this is not an easy task, man. This has never been done before in the city of Baltimore. Not like this. This has never been done before. So we embarking on something, it's history. It's history, and it will go down in the books because it's backed by God. They can take it or leave it, you know? So I'm convinced, without a shadow of a doubt, man, living or dead, man, that this is going to impact our city. It already is. It's going to impact our children. It's already impacting our women, and they love it. The women love it more than the men because they understand this is needed, and we have to keep doing this. So my only ask for the men and women, only thing we're asking you to do is just come and see what we're doing. See if you can get behind it. See if it's real. See if we sincere, and then give us an opportunity to make an impact on your thinking, because we need you. Thank you.
And I'm just going to reiterate what Cap said. You know, if you feel something tugging at your heart, you know, I would say, you know, follow your heart. But like Cap said, this is not an easy thing. I mean, we out there in the cold elements. You know, we out there when it's raining. You know, when it's time to go, we go. And so you know, God can develop a heart for this, you know. And so I understand now, you know, the pleas that go out and the constant people that are just watching. You know, I understand you really don't want to come out your comfort zone. Mm-hmm. But see, you know, in order to help others, you have to get out your comfort zone. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable to help a brother out. So all I can say is just, you know, just keep watching. And when you feel that tug in your heart, come on out. If you're a little nervous and you're a little scared, you're amongst a bunch of brothers that's going to protect you as well as we protect other people out on the street. You know, but you know, like the Bible said, many are called, but few are chosen. You know, just come on out. You know, we have a lot and it dwindles down. You know, God can do great things with small numbers. You know, of course, we like to have small numbers, but whether large or small, we still going to be we out us. We still going to push forward. We still going to go out. We still going to pound that pavement. We still going to help. So we just invite you just to come on out with us, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm definitely, for those of you who have not been out there with these brothers, these are humble, ambitious, but generous group of men that are just looking to make a change and looking to liberate people from the trials and tribulations that they go through within the inner city. And I can't think of anybody better to cap off this Giving Back series than this group right here. What you guys have done in the last 18 months, something that I have never seen in Baltimore City. And I have family ties in Baltimore City. My uncle is a part of this group. Shout out to him. Rainbow is a part of this group. He's a close friend of mine. Shout out to him. And it's when I sit over there and look at the group, this group of men that they're a part of, and I sit over here and I've gotten to know some of the people, and just the attitude and heart just to see somebody else's life change, just the selflessness, the sacrifice. No complaining or nothing. Nobody, not one single person has an attitude about nothing. Their mind is solely focused on the mission. Mm-hmm. We have not seen this ever in Baltimore within the inner city like this. Nothing like this. So this is awesome, guys. I encourage you to keep this going. I'm going to come out as many times as I can to support in any way possible. And I just wanted to kind of give you guys the floor to share your contact info. If somebody wants to, check out your information or check out your website or, check you out anywhere on social media, where can we find you guys for more information or to try to be a part of the movement?
Yeah, we are on Facebook and Instagram, and our website is weourusmovement.org. weourusmovement.org. And you can reach out to us. Again, you have any issues, we put up our Stop the Beef hotline. So you can contact us at any time. weourusmovement.org. And Brother Everett, I want to thank you for giving us a voice, because a voice is important in this time and day and age of sharing the narrative of what we're trying to accomplish in the city of Baltimore. So thank you, sir, for your way you've handled this interview and the way you've given us our story, tell our story. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brother Everett. Appreciate this.
Thank you, guys. I'm humbled. I'm humbled and grateful and thankful to have you guys on, because you guys, I have been, and I'll kind of open up the curtain about me. Where I'm from, people would sometimes wonder, why do you care about the city so much? Because where I'm from, there's things that I didn't have to worry about. I don't have to worry about somebody, with a gun shooting across the house. I'm fortunate to be in that position, but I have a heart for people that didn't have the calm, the calmer lifestyle that I have. My heart goes out to them. I'm a feeler. So if somebody's hurting, if my friend is hurting, or somebody I don't know is hurting, it's going to have an effect on me. And I felt a tug on my heart when I got familiar with, because I have family in the city, I have friends that are in the city, and they have shared experiences with me of some of the hardships that they've gone through, which developed a sense of empathy and also compassion over the years, because I was getting not what the media was telling me, I was getting the inside scoop and what in actually perspective from the trenches as to what was really going on. Something that wasn't, sensationalized by the media. I said, well, this is what's really going on, and this is the issues and the problems. And to see that as, somebody that was in their mid-20s, and I'm 30 now, to see what happened with the Freddie Gray situation up until this point, this was needed. And I thank each and every one of you. Trust me, there's a lot of you guys, if I could shake each and every hand, but pre-pandemic, I would. But with pandemic, I got to follow certain rules. So, it's one of those situations where I'm thankful for this group of men that have stood in the gap. I'm thankful for every individual that's a part of it. I'm thankful for just the constant consistency and work and heart and positive attitude. You guys are making a big difference in the city, and it'll be felt for sure.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I appreciate every one of you guys for coming on, and I thank you guys. Thank you guys so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Kudos to you, though, Everett. Big ups, man. Thank you, man, for the interview.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you, I wanted to put this out there, and I'm not putting this out there because I shot the video. For those of you who have not seen it, there has been a recent piece of media that has been put out between We Are Us and in association with Life or Death Records. It is a music video highlighting 18 months worth of work in a music video. Rainbow did the track. I had the privilege and honor of putting the video together. It's basically a collage of 18 months of work that We Are Us has done through a creative music video that we have put out. So go check that out. Rainbow Israel, We Are Us. The official music video, you can search it on YouTube, and it has been shared on Instagram as well. So go ahead and check that out. But it is a piece that shows a collage of 18 months worth of work of these guys being in the community. So please go check that out. Definitely, in a nutshell, when you look at that, that is a quick visual to show you that these guys are really out here making a difference.
Awesome. Thank you,
All
bro.
right.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Be in touch. We'll be in touch. We got something going happening on the 18th, Martin Luther King Day. So we'll be updating you on that. We're looking to do something real big that day. Even with COVID, we understand that. So we'll be in touch with you with that, Brother Everett.
Absolutely. Any way that I can use, any way that you guys need to use this platform to spread the awareness on anything going on, you're more than welcome to come back on and use this platform to put the message out. So you guys have that access.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, this has been another edition of Audio Airstrike. I want to thank you guys for listening. Whether you're seeing this on YouTube, whether you're listening to the audio on any social media or podcast platform, I definitely appreciate it. This whole entire series was about giving back, and I wanted to cap it off in a major way with it being Thanksgiving. With this conglomerate, this humble conglomerate of men standing in the gap to make a city unite and come together. And if you want to be a part of that, they've given you the information. Feel free to do so. But with that being said, until next time, everybody, y'all take care. We'll be back next Thursday with another episode of Audio Airstrike. Take care, guys. Y'all be blessed.
Peace.